On this episode, we join the Outdoor Dream Foundation and follow a special 12-year-old on his first Wyoming hunt. He's after a mule deer and pronghorn buck, and with the help of the Wood River Ranch, this hunt's about to become reality. We'll also join the Best of the West pro staff in Utah for a muzzleloader mule deer hunt. Right here on the Best of the West. The Outdoor Dream Foundation grants outdoor adventures to kids with terminal or life-threatening illnesses. Trenton Lowe and his father Jared are getting the VIP treatment at Cabela's, where they get a complimentary set of camo, thermals, and boots before they leave for the snow-capped mountains of Wyoming.
Abominable snowman.
I like it.
Where'd you go?
Ron Vining of Polestar Outdoors, another organization dedicated to getting kids in the outdoors, is there to greet them when they arrive in Cody, Wyoming.
Man, that thing's bigger than you are.
How long you staying? You guys talk a little funny. You know that? Probably speed up. Speed up? You know, that draw that y'all have, you know. Speed up a little bit. We'll be able to understand. South Carolina, right?
You came a long way, didn't you? What is your last name?
Yeah, we might have to translate because
That's okay.
he draws way out southern.
You gonna let him talk to you that way?
No?
After a quick trip to the local Wyoming Game and Fish office for a special license, they're off to Meeteetse, Wyoming.
Best of the West stepped up and they custom made a rifle for him to use out here. All the, I had to get his length of pull and had to get all that and send all his measurements to him, and it just fit him perfectly. It was awesome.
We took him to the range. I just wanted to make sure, for one, the gun was zeroed, and for two, that Trenton was zeroed. I could tell his dad had been working with him. He had really good form and got behind that gun well, and I knew after 3 shots that he was going to be all right. He grouped it pretty good.
You can't miss that thing, huh?
We like to think that our accommodations here at Wood River Ranch are pretty 5-star. We're pretty proud of how nice this place is and how willing Mike is to share it with other people. And we were just as excited as we could be to be able to share that with a guy like Trenton and an organization like Outdoor Dream.
The Wood River Ranch is on 4,000 acres in the foothills of the Absaroka Mountains and bordering Shoshone National Forest. They also enjoy exclusive hunting rights on more than 30,000 acres of surrounding ranches, and it's the JA Ranch that offers Trenton a very privileged hunt. Coming up on the Best of the West.
The Best of the West is brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation, Gunbroker.com, Cryptech Camo, the Best of the West Shooting Systems, Defiance Custom Actions, Hornady, Accurate, Deadly, Dependable, Huskama Optics, and LongRangeStore.com.
I see him right in the middle of all the cows, huh? You can keep looking if you want. Pretty cool, huh? Is that the first elk you've ever seen? Yes, sir.
You warm enough now?
I don't know. I'll just gotta talk to Pearson.
Me being your guide and all, I recommend we go look at some more.
You're the god.
Good call, buddy.
Trenton has a plan, and he's after a pronghorn buck first before he moves on to the mule deer. In one of the hayfields, we drove up on a herd of antelope and began glassing for a decent buck. After a few minutes, the buck we're after steps up to take a look. It's go time, and now it rests in Trenton's hands. The spot and stalk lead to some repositioning as the buck kept moving away from us. Some last-minute preparations and tips get Trenton ready to take the shot.
You got him. Reload. Reload. Go ahead and reload. He's the one that's left. You got him, dude. Good shit.
There's more from the Best of the West, your long-range hunting authority. Best of the West Pro Staff Daryl Peterson heads to R&K Hunting Company in Utah for a mule deer hunt in the Wasatch Mountains. Before he heads out early next morning, he sets up to get that long-range muzzleloader zeroed.
Best of the West just rolled out the new long-range muzzleloader. I have the lighter weight version, which is good for this high country mule deer hunting. I've practiced quite a bit with it. I feel really confident. I've shot groups out to 1,200 yards with it. It's a new concept, quite a bit different than most other people's muzzleloaders. We're running 115 grains of weight Blackhorn 209. We're running a non-saboted 45 caliber 327 grain bullet out of the muzzleloader. It's running just under 2,500 feet a second, and it does a lot of damage. It gives you an edge. You definitely can reach out and touch them a little further than the normal couple 100-yard muzzleloader. It's more of a spot and stock style hunt. You can really think about your next move, how you're going to get there, where you're going to shoot from.
Mule deer have been hit hard by winter kill, but guide Camberlin Richens goes into the high country where some have been spotted. The 16-mile, 3,000-foot ascent was no problem for Cam, as she commanded the Can-Am side-by-side like a seasoned veteran.
It's a bumpy ride, and you're going all up on switchback little roads that are made with a bulldozer. They put a lot of work into it. The only thing I've been worried about is my gun back there getting bounced around constantly. You know, you're kind of hanging on, but it's been fun.
The steep, rugged terrain makes glassing the hillsides challenging with so many nooks and crannies to hide in. Having glassed from the bottom for a while, Cam takes Daryl to the ridge to glass from the top. This cold, windy morning offers us a scenic overlook, but not much wildlife.
When we got to the top, the weather was completely different. It was really windy, it was pretty chilly. It was hard to even hear each other talk up there, it was so windy. We actually came down a little bit lower, probably more around 6,000 feet, somewhere in there, 5,500 feet. Sat on a point where we could see over a lot of ground, a lot of open patches in between the trees. It started raining really bad.
We waited it out. I'm trying to keep everything dry, sacrifice the bottom half of my rain gear, trying to keep my primer dry, trying to keep my powder dry, trying to keep my gun dry. And all of a sudden those cow elk came back out. And I mean, they were 300 yards away. Somehow they weren't seeing us. I don't know how, because we were skyline. They started all just looking up and to the right. And there that buck is. They were staring at that buck.
He's down. He's down. Oh, good job, good job, good job, good job, good job.
The Best of the West is brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation, gunbroker.com, Cryptech Camo, the Best of the West Shooting Systems, Defiance Custom Actions, Hornady, Accurate, Deadly, Dependable, Huskama Optics, and LongRangeStore.com.
To book your next hunt in Wyoming, call the Wood River Ranch at 307-868-9111 or visit their website at woodriverranch.com. For more information about the products and gear used in today's show, please visit longrangestore.com or call 1-866-754-7618. Trenton has bagged his pronghorn buck and now he's after a mule deer buck. Guide Dusty Harvey has enlisted help from Wood River Ranch outfitters Pearson Hodgins and JA Ranch owner Tim Acord. Together, they spot 2 bucks that they want to get a better look at.
Yeah, you got yourself that's all right, nerd fly behind you, man.
Trenton takes care of business on the first day of the hunt and gives them time to take in some great visitor favorites. They get a curator tour at the world-class Firearms Museum at Buffalo Bill Center of the West.
Use that like a pistol. You hold it like a pistol, but then you put that wood piece up against your shoulder too. I don't know who made the grips for it. I have to look. Yep, here you go. Pretty cool, huh?
Then they head down the street to the Cody Firearm Experience for some history and some hands-on with a real fan favorite.
And then we'll have a safety briefing, and then we'll give it a shot, okay? Sound like fun?
With another day to spare, they travel to the world's first and most popular national park and take in all they can, despite some road closures and cold weather.
Isn't that incredible?
The Outdoor Dream Foundation and Polestar Outdoors are firm believers in getting young people in the outdoors for that positive impact on their lives.